Welcome to PJNET live here on, it is a Friday night as we speak, and you just heard one of the many great videos from Wild Bill for America. And we are tweeting more Senate. And before we get started, I'd like to just take a little run down the chat room roster and acknowledge that we've got some folks here, and I want to thank each one of them for taking some of their time this evening to be with us. Ann Stokes is with us tonight. Also, Canton Tweet, Gina, she is one of our partners in the Empower Project, and we hope that you'll stop by during the day and see some of the devotional videos that she puts together as a part of her ministry, Resplendent Daughter. .blogspot.com. Hazards 4, Steve is oftentimes our video host on Friday night when we kind of let our hair down, but tonight's a special night prior to the More campaign. But stop in one Friday night and let Steve entertain you with some of his special tunes that we play. Sunbelt Girl, our video co-hostess for the evening, and also Terry G. Wright, I think, is here. I don't know, but she is the other video co-host. Folks, we have a very special guest tonight. You just saw one of his many YouTube videos. If you are not subscribed to Wild Bill for America's YouTube channel, well, you're simply not doing YouTube correctly. You need to go find it. And when this man puts out a video, within hours there are thousands of views, and it is our privilege to welcome Wild Bill to our sensational studios right here at PJNet World Headquarters. And Bill, you didn't have to shave or get ready to do this. Just come as you are. Bill, I've been watching some of your videos, and I'm not one to buy into conspiracy theories. I'm not one to buy into fear-mongering, but I think that you have an experience and a message that we need to pay attention to. You took a little trip to Canada. It was shortened a little bit. Where's that iPad, by the way?
The iPad is still in Canada.
Okay. What happened?
Well, I was invited to go up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada to give a speech on the abuse of women and children under Islam. And as you're well aware, there are some serious problems there. And when it was announced that Wild Bill for America was coming to Canada, a lot of the left-wing groups up there just screamed like spanked monkeys, complaining to the government that they don't want people like me up there. And so the government was alerted that I was coming, and they were waiting for me. When I arrived in the airport in Calgary, they hustled me off to security, where they went through my stuff and asked me about what I was going to be doing. And I told them, I said, I'm giving a speech on Islam, and there's the text of it right there on my iPad. And so they scrolled through what I was going to say about Islam, and they scurried off to their supervisor's office. And then after many hours, they came back and said, we're detaining you for smuggling. And of course, I said, smuggling? I said, yeah, smuggling hate speech on your iPad. These were notes that I had made to myself about the speech. And,
on the flight up there.
yeah, and believe it or not, Mark, the second half of the speech was about the importance of freedom of speech. And I said in there, you know, I'm here to address the Canadian citizens who believe that all citizens should be able to speak out freely without fear of being hauled off by the government. But I never got to give that speech because I got hauled off by the government.
But they finally agreed to let you go home, and we're glad you're back in that sense.
Glad to get rid of me, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, the guys at the border police there, I'm sure they were under orders from on high to intimidate me, to make an example out of me for any others who might dare to speak out against Islam or the flaming liberalism that is poisoning the entire nation of Canada. But they, of course, didn't charge me. I mean, seriously, if smuggling hate speech on my own iPad is the best they come up with, you know they had nothing. But they did keep my iPad, saying they're going to send it to Toronto or Edmonton for a forensic investigation. I'm going to send it to their taxing authority to see what kind of tariff they can slap on my smuggled words.
I'm laughing. It's not funny, but it is ridiculous. Okay, so you get home, you make a YouTube video about it, and then YouTube slaps you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this just happened a few days ago. Google has basically declared war.
Now, let me interrupt. Let me, folks, Google owns YouTube. Okay.
Yes,
so, okay.
Google
All right. There, just for the benefit of those that didn't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and when you watch a YouTube video, often you'll see little bitty banner ads that run along the bottom, and if you're interested, you can click those banner ads. Google AdSense pays us, the people who do the videos, like 6 cents whenever anybody clicks on one of those little banner ads. And so for 7 years, I've been supporting myself with the income from those little banner ads. But in the last few days, just in the last week, Google has decided that conservative speech, where people speak the truth about Islam or homosexuality or basically anything patriotic, is not appropriate for all advertisers. So they launched a program that essentially shuts down the monetization of our videos.
And by the way, this live event right now, as we speak, is being streamed live on YouTube. So I guess I'd better not put anything in the description later, like to the effect of Wild Bill, or they'll slap me too.
They just might. You know, they're trying to silence our side by hitting us financially. And it's hurting us financially. If I don't find some donors who will step forward and make up for the lost revenue that Google has caused, I may be out of business here before long. And I don't intend to give up the fight that easily. I don't want to let these people win.
Bill, so, I'm with you. In a similar, I'm not being persecuted by YouTube, but in terms of, monetizing the ministry, we do have to eat, and we do have expenses and so forth. But I wound up, getting a part-time job at AutoZone, so I could afford to do this. And it's difficult, grassroots political activism. We're all pretty much living hand to mouth, and it's hard for people to support. But nonetheless, it is important. But there is something that people can do to even the score a little bit. There is someone else whom we are speaking about and tweeting about tonight that has been hit harder than both of us put together. Judge Roy Moore stood for the truth and put a monument to the 10 Commandments in his courtroom, and immediately the SJWs, social justice warriors, were triggered and went into squealing. And next thing you know, Judge Moore is removed from office. And folks, if it's not clear to you, again, I am not a fearmonger, but if it is not clear to you that we have an enemy out there, now is the time to stand up and support people like Judge Roy Moore.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. Judge Roy Moore fought the good fight there. The 10 Commandments are as much a founding document of this country as the Declaration of Independence. And the 10 Commandments basically remind people that God is there and that we all have a responsibility and an accountability to Him. Of course, the liberal left, their holy grail is forcing the worst immoralities imaginable upon all of us and our children. So having the 10 Commandments on public display really put a kink in their style. They do not want people to be conscious of God, because where faith in God is strong, liberalism cannot survive. So I salute Judge Roy Moore for standing firm for that all-American founding principle of the 10 Commandments. Thomas Jefferson and George Washington would have been standing right next to him as he fought to keep that great American monument in place.
Bill, it's Roy Moore's an incredible guy, and I think you were the one that said a lot of people talk the talk, and we want people to talk the talk and proclaim the truth.
Yeah.
But when the stakes get high and it starts costing you, it's real easy to compromise and say, well, what good am I if I'm not in this position, and that kind of thing. But Roy Moore dug in and stood his ground.
He did.
And
he did, and that's what we are expected to do. The Bible says that for him who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, to him it is sin. Judge Roy Moore knew what was right, and he did what was right, even though it cost him.
Well, and at this point, he is running for the United States Senate for the great state of Alabama. And I am not from Alabama, but myself and Wild Bill are in the state of Florida, and we are all in for Judge Roy Moore. In fact, the election, folks, is right around the corner. Today, as we do this, it is Friday evening. The election will be held Tuesday, August 15th. And on that day, Wild Bill will be getting on his horse and heading to Tallahassee, and where I will pick him up, and we together will be headed to Montgomery to join the Roy Moore campaign team. Bill, I just want to take a moment. I've spoken to you privately, but I just want to take a moment to acknowledge publicly how much PJNET appreciates the videos you've already done, the advocacy for Judge Moore, but to join forces with Wild Bill and be in the very center of the camp of the Roy Moore campaign on this day that I believe in all my heart will be a real pivotal point for this country as a nation as we are attempting to change the political landscape, because that is exactly what's going to happen with Roy Moore as a United States Senator alongside those like, Lee and Cruz and, some of those. Bill, we're just very honored to have you partner with us in that, and I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, I thank you. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. I'm serious about making a stand myself. For years, my mission in life has been to call this country back to the God and country principles upon which the nation was founded, and Judge Roy Moore is one of the leading figures doing that today. I am so disappointed in the United States Congress. All of them, including Trey Gowdy, the guy that we had such confidence in that he would finally bring some justice to Washington, D.C., but all we get from Trey Gowdy is sound bites. He has not delivered one bit of evidence to a grand jury for indictment to prosecute the people in our government who are committing criminal violations. Hillary, of course, being the #1 swamp rat in the swamp, she's still walking free. And we need men like Judge Roy Moore who will go in there and stand like a rock-solid monument to justice. If they can shut down Trey Gowdy, I don't see any hope for Congress doing anything worthwhile. So let's get Judge Roy Moore into the Senate, where perhaps he can make a difference and inspire others to stand strong as well.
Yeah. Now, folks, what Wild Bill and I will be doing, we actually are taking our equipment with us, and we will be streaming live, not continuously, but we will be bringing updates throughout the day and throughout the night live from the campaign headquarters where they're huddled up as the election results come in. And we're hoping to get some interviews with some of the key people and key supporters, as well as the Moore team itself. And it's just going to be a great time. And I think, and that will be available right here. We'll stream it on YouTube, but it'll be available right here throughout the day. I say throughout the day. We won't get there until Tuesday afternoon, so it'll probably be late afternoon when we're finally set up for our first broadcast. All the arrangements have been made. Everything is, all the lights are green. All we got to do is get up there, and we're looking forward to it. And Bill, this is just the beginning of some great things that are over the horizon, and we thank you again for piling on with PJNET.
Oh, I am so honored to get connected with PJNET. You guys do some good work. And every time I go to an event like this, I meet some of the best people in America. For some reason, the conservative movement just seems to be made up of the best people in America. I pity those that go to the Democrat National Committee, because I know the kind of people they get stuck with there. Yeah. We've got all the good ones on our side.
Well, Bill, you taking your white hat or your black hat?
Well, let's see. I'm probably going to take the light-colored hat this time.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, briefly, we need to wind up, but you just got back from a trip to Montana. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I went up to Montana to work the Ten Commandments park up there, which is a beautiful park with big billboards of the Ten Commandments reminding us that God's in charge, and patriotic messages like Ronald Reagan saying, if we ever forget we're a nation under God, we will be a nation gone under. So up there for 3 weeks just to work the park and visit with people who come in and to explain to them the importance of the Ten Commandments today. Not just for American patriotic historical value, but also, Hebrews 9:27 says it's appointed unto men once to die, and then comes judgment. And the Ten Commandments give us a pretty good idea where we stand as far as God's judgment is concerned. So that's another reason why the Ten Commandments need to be put before the American people in the public square, just like they were for the first 230 years of this nation's history.
Bill, I hope I can be a better sidekick for you than that horse was in Montana.
I say never work with kids or animals. Yeah, just nibbled me pretty good while I was trying to do a video.
Oh, and you were on a roll. I tell you. Yeah, that horse is a Democrat, no doubt about it. Well, Bill, you're a sensation, and we support you and appreciate all your efforts and look forward to working together with you this Tuesday for Judge Moore.
Thank you, Mark. I'm looking forward to the trip. Let's get Roy Moore elected. America deserves better, and Roy Moore is what they need.
There you have it. You never question, you never doubt what Wild Bill is thinking about, because he is the voice for the grassroots conservative and evangelical here in America. And folks, you are too, and you're part of it right now as we continue our live More Senate #rally here on PJNet.